Dr. Ben Spencer.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. I'd like to thank the Member for Wimbledon for speaking so eloquently in this important debate and securing it, and of course to the Backbench Business Committee. I'd like to start just by saying hospices are fantastic places, and all of us in this country are lucky to have them. And one of the ways I think about them is people don't go to hospices to die, they go to hospices to live during the last few days or weeks of their lives. And while I'm pleased that the assisted dying bill has led to a renewed interest in hospice and palliative care, I'm sad that a lot of the focus has been around death and the dying process specifically, rather than the broad support and care that hospices and palliative care provides, sometimes over many years for people who have illnesses which may be life-limiting but require certain particular types of interventions, medical interventions to manage symptoms for people. And I think that's a very important part of the work that hospices and palliative care teams do, but often get often a lot of the focus is on the death process itself, rather than the overall sort of chronic treatment that's given. And I think one of the important parts of that is, of course, speaking as a former consultant psychiatrist, is I'd be remiss of me not to mention the psychological support and mental health interventions that palliative care teams and hospices bring. Experts in terms of pain relief, and I tell you as a junior doctor, palliative care teams brought a lot of relief to me when trying to manage very difficult situations with patient care, and they are the experts in terms of the analgesics and that component, and I think that it's important to recognise them not only in terms of hospice but also in terms of the palliative care teams that operate both in hospital settings but also in the community supporting people's symptoms. Of course, I want to pay tribute to our fantastic hospices and care teams which we have locally in the Runnymede and Weybridge constituency, Woking and Beare Hospice, which I've visited, which is a fantastic place, and Princess Alice, which is based in Esher, and we also benefit from Shooting Stars, which is in the Member for Twickenham's constituency, and I hope to visit that one day too. I'd like to thank all the teams who work in there, both in terms of delivering care and support to people, but also keeping the hospices running and the vital fundraising which they do. Many people support hospices in lots of different ways, whether that's direct donations, whether that's organising fundraising events, and I'm pleased to have been to fundraising events myself for Woking and Beare Hospice. In fact, just a few weeks ago, roughly about a week or two ago, I went to the Chertsey Panto, which has been running now for 12 years, supporting the Woking and Beare Hospice, and it's around, at least what was announced, that the performance people who visit the Panto window performance, if one can call it that, would recognise they've raised 60 grand over the period of time. And for those members who'd like to see the Chertsey Panto, I have to say it is a panto which has to be seen to believed, and one never will forget the Chertsey Panto after one has gone to it. But the team who organise and run it are absolutely fantastic. It's a fantastic institution and raises a lot of good money for the Woking and Beare Hospice. Also, we have charity shops, for example. There's a great one in Weybridge which has been raising money for quite some time for that. So I'd like to pay tribute to everybody, no matter how big or how small, what they do in terms of supporting our hospices and our palliative care sector. Of course.
Thank the Honourable Member for giving way. Will he join me in promoting St Wilfrid Hospice's fundraiser in Eastbourne? I'm a CEO, Get Me Out of Here, that's trying to get lots of local CEOs and MPs to join them in the Sussex jungle to raise cash for the great work that they do.
Well, I thank the member for his intervention. He'll have to explain more to me what exactly is required in terms of a commitment in the Sussex jungle for the fundraising. But he's right to pay tribute to the great work which is done supporting our hospice sector. And of course, their funding model is part public, part privately supported. And I think that adds a great benefit to them, because sitting outside the NHS, they have a more degree of flexibility in terms of how they approach care provision. That being said, working with Beare is 31% funded by public sector money. It has 2,000 staff and delivers, as I said, delivers fantastic care and support. But much of this debate has been around what the future is for our hospice sector in terms of funding. And while I'm grateful for the government in terms of some of the money and support it's put forwards towards hospice, sadly it has given with one hand and taken away with the other. The national insurance contributions is very damaging. The hospice also need to manage increasing staffing budgets through Agenda for Change. Marie Currie has said that this is going to cost the sector, the national insurance component, roughly 2.9 million per year. And so what I would like to ask the Minister, if he could, in his closing responding statements, explain what impact assessment has been done on the national insurance contribution rises for hospices, the Agenda for Change, and how many hospices in the UK are currently running in a deficit position, and how he expects that to change over the course of the next year and going forwards as a consequence of the decisions that were made on the budget. And if there is an opportunity for those decisions to be reversed, does he support them? Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker.